हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाये नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणी निरतं करुणामयम् नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरं भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ॐ नमः शिवाय। 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 पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot अनिराकरणमस्तु निराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम। We have gone through this 7th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad. Now we are just summarizing what we have learned. So Naradji was taught the various expressions of that Brahma as the Jagat, starting from Nama all the way to Prana. And now the teacher is revealing that supreme reality called Bhuma. So the Jagat which we experience is constantly changing. So it is also called Asatyam. And that Bhuma is Satyam. So in order to realize that Bhuma, one has to purify one's antakarana, approach the teacher, listen to the teacher, contemplate, meditate, and gain abidance in that Brahma. So that Brahma is indicated here as Bhuma, and which is of the nature of Sukha. So yo vai Bhuma tat Sukham na alpe Sukham asti, that Bhuma itself is Sukha. There is no Sukha in that which is limited. And what is that Bhuma? Bhuma is that in which there are no divisions of any kind. It is one without a second, in which there is no seer seeing something different. There is no knower knowing something different. The teacher says that Bhuma is established in itself or not even established in itself. Because that Bhuma alone is below, that Bhuma alone is above, Bhuma is in front, Bhuma is behind, Bhuma alone is on the right, Bhuma alone is on the left. Everything is Bhuma. And now the teacher indicates that Bhuma from the standpoint of Ahankar. That Ahankar itself is below, Ahankar is above, Ahankar is on the left, Ahankar is on the right, Ahankar is in front, Ahankar alone is behind, Ahankar alone is everything. Aham, I alone am everything. So I hope the transmission is proper on Facebook. After indicating that Bhuma from the standpoint of Ahankar, the teacher indicates that Bhuma from the standpoint of Atma. It is called Atma Desh. So Ataha Atma Deshaha Eva. I will just change the setting a little bit. There's some problem with the Facebook transmission. Very good. The Bhuma was indicated from the standpoint of that Atma. That Atma alone is above, below, in front, behind, on the right, on the left. Everything is Atma alone. And one who recognizes this Atma as Brahma always revels in that Atma, becomes Atma Kredaha, Atma Mitunaha, Atma Anandaha, gains all Ananda in Atma alone, and becomes the sovereign of this entire creation. Swarat Bhavati, and gains free movement in the whole cosmos. Further, the teacher says that one who has recognized that Atma, for that person everything is from Atma alone. Tasya hava itasya evam pashyataha evam manvanasya evam vijanataha atmuttaha pranaha. Then everything is from Atma alone. Atmataha prana, the prana is also from Atma. And the whole world, starting from Asha all the way to Nama, everything from Atma. The manifestation as well as the unmanifestation is from Atma. All the karmas are from Atma. Evam idam sarvam iti. So everything is Atma alone. See again to revise. All the Shastras, all the Upanishads, as well as all the other spiritual texts like the Puranas, the Itihas, the Dharma Granthas, all of them, they indicate that there is only one supreme reality, which is called Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Anandam Brahma. Brahma alone is there. And all this, what we are talking about, the Jagat, the Jiva, everything is just a play of that Brahma alone. So that Supreme Brahma has its own inherent Shakti, which is called Avyakrita. Different names are there. One of the name is Avyakrita. Avyakrita means undifferentiated. And when it gets differentiated, it becomes the two. One is Avyakta and Prana. Avyakta is eightfold. Bhumirapo nalo vayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankariti yamme bhinna prakriti ashtadha. It is also called Ashtadha Prakriti or Apara Prakriti. And Prana is also called Para Prakriti. So that Brahma, through this twofold Prakriti, the Vyakta and the Prana, alone appears like this world with infinite jivas. So through the Avyakta Prakriti, Brahma expresses as this world. And when we say world, it is indicated here as Nama, Vaka, Mana, Sankalpa, all the way to Asha. So Nama to Asha is the world, or in other way, if you have to talk about the world is made up of the five great elements, the Pancha Mahabhut, and the five Vishayas, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, then five Karmendriyas, five Jnanendriyas, and Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, and Ahankar. All of them together are 24 Tattvas. So these 24 Tattvas are the world. The vast world, infinite world, is made up of these 24 elements, 24 Tattvas. So through the Apara Prakriti, that Brahma alone expresses as this world. And through the pranas, which is the para prakriti, Brahma alone expresses as infinite jivas. Now, our buddhi is also part of this world, and in the buddhi, through the buddhi, we experience the world and we experience ourselves also. Through the buddhi, we experience the world and we experience the jiva, ourself as jiva. So the world is experienced as idam, idam, idam. In the buddhi as idam vritti, as this thought. And the jiva is experienced in the buddhi as I thought, aham, aham, aham. So in the buddhi we experience this world as idam, this mountain, this tree, this moon, this building. Like that we experience the world with idam vritti. And we experience that jiva as aham, aham asmi. But this is experienced in the buddhi, through the buddhi. So these two types of thoughts are there in the buddhi. Idam thought and aham thought. So the world is experienced through idam thought. And the jiva is experienced as aham thought. That aham thought, which is experienced in the buddhi, is what is called ahankar. The thought is called ahankar. But that ahankar, that aham vritti, is because of that jiva. In that jiva there are no vrittis. But because of that jiva, the jiva is experienced as aham in the buddhi. When the buddhi is not functioning, that aham is not experience, and idam is also not experience. Like in deep sleep, the world is not experience, though the world is there. Jiva is also not experience, though the jiva is there. I am there. But I am not experienced as aham vritti. The world is also not experience in deep sleep. But I am present in deep sleep. That I, who is present in deep sleep, who is experiencing, who is expressing through the pranas, that I is, that jiva is also called Atma. Atma, Antaratma, the inner self is called jiva, is also the Kshetrajna, is also called Prajna. So that jiva is also called Atma. That Atma is the expression of Brahma alone through the pranas. But actually the expression of Brahma is Brahma. So from the standpoint of that Atma, that Brahma is pointed out as that Atma alone is above, below, on the right, on the left. Atma alone is everything. And now, since everything is expression of that Brahma, since Atma is recognized as Brahma, the Shastra here says that everything is expression of Atma. So from the Atma alone is prana, from Atma alone is the entire world. So an enlightened person recognizes that Atma as Brahma. Whereas the ignorant person confuses the ahankar, not recognizing that aham vritti properly as that of the Atma, confuses it with the idam vritti. So there is this misunderstanding which happens in the buddhi, like aham idam, mama idam, that I am this and this is mine. For example, this body, the physical body, is idam. It is not aham. But this idam is considered as aham. I say I am the body. I am this body. I am a man. I am a woman. I am young. I am old. So I wrongly identify with the body, with the senses, with the antakarana, which are all part of the world only. So not knowing myself to be the Atma, not knowing myself yet to be that Atma, I identify wrongly with the world. That itself is the cause of all our sorrow and bondage. And this misunderstanding itself is called adhyas. So through proper sadhana, we have to remove this misunderstanding and recognize ourselves as that Atma, and then understand that Atma as Brahma. So one who has understood and realized that Atma is Brahma is an enlightened person. So such an enlightened person, what are the characteristics of an enlightened person? That the teacher reveals in the last mantra. But the teacher also quotes from other place of the Vedas a shloka. So tadesha shloka na pasyo mrityum pashyati na rogam no tadukkatam sarvagam ha pashyati sarvam apnoti sarvashah iti. That a pasya means an enlightened person, na mrityum pashyati, he doesn't see death because he no longer identifies with the body. And all this death is there with respect to the body only. So for him there is no death. Na rogam. For an enlightened person there is no roga, because roga also happens in the body. Nota dukkhatam. Nor is there any sorrow for this enlightened person, because sorrow also is there in the mind, in the antakarana. But he knows that I am not the antakarana. Sarvam apnoti sarvashah. Sarvam ha pashyati. He sees everyone and everything as his own self. Everything is myself only. And attains everything from all, in all ways. Sarvam apnoti. And this enlightened person knows that I am that Brahma. So he alone becomes, though one becomes many, appears like many. So sa ekada bhavati, tridha bhavati, he alone becomes three. Panchadha, he alone becomes five. Saptadha, he alone becomes seven. Navadha, he alone becomes nine. Chaiva punascha ekadashaha, he alone becomes 11. He alone is 100. He alone is 10. He alone is 1. He alone is 1,000. He alone is 20. So an enlightened person knows that everything is myself only. Other than me, nothing is there. An ignorant person identifies with the body, mind, wrongly assumes them to be his own self and suffers. But an enlightened person becomes free of all these sufferings. See, the problem is not with the manifested world. The problem is not with all the infinite jivas. All this is just expression of that one Brahma alone. The problems happens in the buddhi, where misunderstanding has taken place. When this misunderstanding is removed, then everything is just play of that supreme reality alone. That itself, other Mahatmas call it Chid Vilas, the play of that Chit, the play of consciousness. Everything is a play of that supreme consciousness of Supreme Brahma. So the whole idea is to become free of this confusion and to gain that enlightenment. So what is the sadhana. What should we do? So the teacher briefly indicates the sadhana here, which is itself elaborately discussed in other texts. So the teacher says कि आहार शुद्धौ सत्व शुद्धि सत्व शुद्धौ ध्रुवा स्मृति स्मृतिलंभे सर्वग्रंथीनां विप्रमोक्षः. In this few words, the teacher indicates the sadhana. He says, Ahara Shuddhav Sattva Shuddhihi. That when we make the ahar, our ahar means input, whatever we take in through the senses, whatever is taken in is called ahar. Seeing, hearing, tasting, touching is all ahar. So whatever we take in, it influences our antakarana. Constantly, that ahar we keep taking, and it keeps influencing our antakarana. Right from morning to evening, we are busy taking in lots of ahar, not only eating, but seeing, hearing, tasting, touching. And it constantly influences our antakarana. It gives rise to desires, anger, jealousies, pride, fear. And it doesn't matter whether those things are actually there or even imaginary. Sometimes we see a movie which is just a fiction, but seeing that movie also gives rise to all sorts of emotions in our antakarana: fear, anger, hatred, love, compassion, friendship. All this keeps happening. Also, when we listen to different people talking, or we read different types of books, all this keeps on feeding the antakarana. So all these are called ahar only. So when the ahar is not good, if the ahar is polluted, then our antakarana becomes polluted. But if the ahar is good, and constantly when we take this good ahar, auspicious ahar, then the antakarana start becoming more and more pure. The antakarana start becoming free of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsar, raga, dvesha. It start becoming more and more pure. Our buddhi start becoming more and more clean, like a clean mirror. And when it becomes like a clean mirror, then with that clean buddhi, when we listen to the teacher, then the tattva, the, the reality becomes very clear. We come to understand who am I, what is the meaning of that Atma, and how that Atma is Brahma. So everything becomes absolutely clear. So that understanding, clear understanding happens. So Sattva Shuddhav Dhruva Smritihi, our understanding becomes firm. We gain a pure memory of whatever we have learned. That memory becomes clear and steady. I come to understand that I am that Brahma, and this understanding becomes steady. See, when we do Shravan, we understand, but after sometimes we tend to forget it. We become busy with our life and we forget. When we are listening to the pravachan, we understand that I am different from this body. I am that Shuddha Brahma. But as soon as the pravachan is over, again we identify with the body and continues with our life as an ignorant person. But as we continue with our sadhana, the understanding becomes more and more steady. The memory becomes more and more steady. That is called Dhruva Smritihi, a firm smriti. And with that firm smriti, when we meditate, when we do that nididhyasan, when we meditate, then we gain abidance in our own self. That nididhyasan is very important sadhana. Shravan is important, manan is also important, but nididhyasan is the most important because through nididhyasan only we gain the final enlightenment. We gain the direct experience of ourselves as we are. We are able to transcend that buddhi. We are able to break the bondage. We are able to break the knots of bondage. That's what the teacher says, ki smriti lambe sarva granthinam vipramoksha. When we gain this proper smriti, then all the granthis, the knots of the heart, gets destroyed. So what are the knots of the heart? The avidya, which gives rise to kama, which propels us into various types of karma. And due to karma, we gain different types of results. So all this is a knot only. So the basic knot is the avidya. And because of that avidya, there is this confusion regarding aham and idam. Aham is mistaken for idam, and idam is mistaken for aham. This itself is the main confusion. This confusion is called adhyas. So we have to break that adhyas. We have to separate this aham and idam, which has got mixed up in our buddhi. I hope you are understanding what I am saying. In our buddhi, a mix-up has happened between aham and idam. So that has to be separated in the buddhi. And that aham has to be understood as the Atma. And that Atma has to be understood as Brahma. And from the standpoint of Brahma, when everything is seen as our own self. Then everything becomes our own self. So this nididhyasan, the dhyana, is very important. So with the Shuddha Buddhi, we focus our attention on our own inner, in this Buddhi only, and focus attention on that aham vritti. And from that aham vritti, we shift our attention to that Atma. Because Atma is the source of this aham vritti. Just as in a mirror, we see the reflection of an apple. But the apple in the mirror is not the real apple. It is just a reflection. From there, we have to shift our attention to the real apple. Then we will be able to eat it. Similarly, the aham vritti means that thought of I thought. That I thought in the buddhi is like a reflection. From there, we have to shift our attention to that Atma, in which there are no thoughts. There is only the, the, the presence, the existence, that anness, that experience of myself without thought, the experience of my own existence without thought. My presence itself is that Atma. And that Atma, when we keep meditating on that Atma as Brahma, we gain that abidance in that Atma as Brahma. So these are very, very subtle sadhanas which one has to go through, starting from basic sadhanas like Karma Yoga, like Upasana, like Japa, Tapa. We have to clean our antakarana. It has become dirty not only in this lifetime, but it has become dirty because of the infinite, countless lifetimes which we have lived, accumulating different types of dirt. So it will not get cleaned very easily. So we have to continuously do the sadhana. In Bhagavad Gita also, in the 13th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna talks about the various qualities which he indicates as jnanam. So they are the qualities which shines forth in our antakarana when the antakarana becomes pure. And what are those qualities? Amanitvam, adambhitvam, ahimsa, kshantirarjavam, acharyopasanam, shaucham, stairyam, atma vinigrahah, indriyartheshu vairagyam, anahankara evacha, janma mrityu jara vyadhi, dukkha dosha anudarshanam, asaktiranabhiswangaha, putradara grahadishu, nityancha samachittatvam, ishtanishtopapatishu, मयि चानन्ययोगेन भक्तिरव्यभिचारिणि विविक्तदेशसेवित्वम् अरतिर्जनसंसदि अध्यात्मज्ञाननित्यत्वं तत्त्वज्ञानार्थदर्शनम् एतज्ज्ञानमिति प्रोक्तम् अज्ञानं यदतोऽन्यथा. So some 21 values Bhagavan mentions in this 13th chapter. So they start shining forth in our antakarana when it becomes pure. Amanitvam, freedom from all pride, freedom from hypocrisy, freedom from violence, forgiveness, straightforwardness, seva bhav towards the teacher, cleanliness, steadiness, vairagya from all sense pleasures, freedom from this false identification of this ahankar with body, mind, etc. So in this way, when we have this Shuddha Antakarana, then our understanding becomes steady. Otherwise, we have the understanding, we have been listening, and we know that I am Brahma, but that understanding is not clear, and that understanding is not steady. In the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita also, Bhagwan tells Arjuna that Mayyeva mana adhatsva, Mayi buddhim niveshaya, nivashishyasi Mayyeva atha urdhvam na samshayah. Hey Arjuna, you place your mind in me, you place your intellect in me, and you will be able to attain me. But if your mind is not pure, you will not be able to place that mind in me. So you constantly practice, do abhyas. But if that abhyas also becomes difficult, then you do karma yoga, practice karma yoga. Through karma yoga, when the mind becomes pure, then you will be able to place your mind in me. And if you place your mind and intellect in me, you will attain me. So same thing is said here. Purify your ahar, that will purify the mind, purify the antakarana. And when the antakarana becomes pure, the memory of my own self as Brahma becomes steady. And with that, when I meditate, then all the granthis, all the knots of the heart gets broken. So thus, mudita mridita kashayaya, thus to that Naradji who had become absolutely pure. Naradji became pure by chanting Bhagwan's name, which is also a very great sadhana. Just like Valmiki ji became pure by chanting Ram, 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 Naradji became pure by constantly chanting Bhagwan's name. Narayana, 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 Narayana. Constantly, day and night, he just chants Bhagwan's name. Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. So Naradji, who had become absolutely pure, the teacher, through this knowledge of Bhuma, took him across this samsara, across all darkness, across the avidya. So tamasa param darshayati Bhagwan Sanat Kumaraha. So Bhagwan Sanat Kumar, the Shruti addresses Sanat Kumar as Bhagwan, because Bhagwan is one who knows the Utpatti, Pralaya, Chaiva Bhutanam Agatin Gatin, and knows the Gati of all the Jivas, all the beings. And Bhagwan is one who knows Vidya. So Bhagwan alone is the great teacher who teaches us. So Bhagwan Sanat Kumaraha, taught Naradji, and Naradji became free of all bondage. He became free of this samsara. Sanat Kumar is also called Skanda. Skanda means a wise person, an enlightened person. So Skanda itya chakshate, tadam Skanda itya chakshate. So he is called Skanda. So thus concludes this seventh chapter of Chandogya Upanishad. It's a very beautiful chapter in which the teacher very systematically reveals that Supreme Brahma. But in order to understand this chapter properly, we have to take guidance from Bhagwan Shankaracharyaji's Bhashya. Without Shankaracharyaji's Bhashya, we will not be able to understand this chapter. Not only this chapter, we cannot understand Vedanta properly without Shankaracharyaji's Bhashya. So we have studied this chapter. We have also studied the previous chapter, chapter 6. And now we will study the 8th chapter also. Because these 3 chapters together indicate that Supreme Brahma in this particular Upanishad. In the 8th chapter, again the same Brahma is revealed through some other method, some other technique. In the beginning, the teacher in the chapter, the teacher also tells about a very important upasana, which will help us to comprehend that Brahma. And then, through a dialogue between Brahmaji and Indra, that truth is revealed. Indra, the king of all the devatas, and Virochan, the king of all asuras, they approach Brahmaji to gain this self-knowledge. But Virochan could not stay for long. He just misunderstood the teaching and he returned home. He didn't have the patience to continue with the teacher. But Indra Bhagwan, he had the patience. He continued with the teacher. He stayed there for 101 years and he learned this Atma Vidya. So that we will see in this 8th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad. But before we begin this chapter, we will have some days break, holidays. And during these holidays, you please go through these previous chapters, revise all that you have learned. If you have missed listening to any of the pravachans, you can always listen to them. They are available on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So listen to them, listen to these pravachans, contemplate, take down notes, read your notes, discuss with other students, and understand the teaching properly. It is very, very clear. There are no confusions. There are no contradictions because we are following Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharyaji's Bhashya to understand the subject properly. So now we will conclude with a prayer. We will chant the Shanti mantra of this chapter again and then conclude with a prayer. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranachakshusrotramatho Balamindriyani cha sarvani Sarvam Brahmopanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Mama Brahma Nirakarot Anirakaranamastu Nirakaranam me astu. Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaha te mayi santo om shanti shanti shanti. So we will conclude now. You please be on the lookout for the announcement as to when we will start the next chapter. So till then we will have some break. In between, maybe we can have 1 or 2 sessions. Now on 4th of July, there is this Guru Purnima. So on Guru Purnima, we will have a special session at the same time, 12 to 1. So till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana. And we will meet on is it 4th? Guru Purnima is on 4th of July, no? Third of July. So it is on 3rd of July. So on 3rd July at 12 o'clock we will meet to celebrate Guru Purnima. Till then you take care. Be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana. Listen to the pravachan again. Contemplate, meditate, and take care. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Boli Siya Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.